Hi comic book fans, and welcome to another suddenlycomics.com video. Today I am addressing the issue, is now a good time to buy Moon Knight #1? Right, this is a more complicated question than it seems because there have been 9 volumes of Moon Knight. Yes, he's a character who's had quite a lot more volumes than most characters. Only something like 206 issues across the 9 volumes. So a fair number of short-running volumes here. The other complication, of course, is it depends on what reason you're buying the comic for. Are you a flipper who's buying it with the intention of selling it in the short term and making some money, who've no interest in the character, just interested in making some money? Nothing wrong with that at all. Or are you a collector who likes the character Moon Knight, has decided that they want to add Moon Knight to their collection or to fill a few holes in their existing collection? Right, well, I'll try and address both of those as we go through. Okay, bear with me because this is quite complicated. Right, so Moon Knight #1, Volume 1 is this comic here. And it's the most expensive of these comics. So this came out in 1980. This series, Doug Munch, the writer and creator of Moon Knight, and Bill Sienkiewicz's art, and there's some great Bill Sienkiewicz's covers in this run. This ran from issue 1 to issue 34. And this one is actually a pretty key issue. So for those of you who don't know, Moon Knight has got multiple personalities. A couple of the personalities make their first appearance in this comic as the taxi driver, Jake Lockley, something like that. And the Playboy character, Stephen Grant, I think, makes his first appearance in here. Also making his first appearance in here is Moon Knight's nemesis, his arch enemy, the Bushman. And so also making his first appearance in here is Khonshu. Khonshu is the Egyptian god of the moon, and he has adopted Mark Spector as his avatar, known as Moon Knight. So pretty key issue. Now this one. So currently, if you want a graded 9.8 of this, you're going to pay about $950. Now this is off its peak, which was at around $1,100. So we had the first sort of teaser trailer for the Moon Knight television series with Oscar Isaac, and this did peak a bit after that, but it's dropped back. We haven't yet got a date for the Moon Knight. We know it's 2022, but we haven't got a date for it. When we get a proper trailer for this, and when the TV series is on, it's usual that these comics go back to the previous highs. I don't think this will be any different. So if you're a flipper, I think there's a bit in this for you. You can buy this for around $900 in a 9.8. My guess is you should be able to get $1,200 for it, $1,100 or $1,200 for it when the trailer drops, or just after the trailer drops. If you're a collector, as I said, we're about 10, 15, 20% off the peaks. If you want one of these, personally, I wouldn't buy a graded copy. There are some nice raw copies out there. I'd get a raw copy and I'd press it and I'd clean it. I'd probably get it graded myself, which is what I'll probably eventually do with this one. Right, so that is the first volume of Moon Knight #1. Okay, we then had a thing called Fist of Khonshu Moon Knight. This was a mini series from 1989. This does not count as one of the 9 volumes of Moon Knight. Why? I don't know. Perhaps because it's got Fist of Khonshu before the Moon Knight. Anyway, so however, this one, if you want this, it is sort of a Moon Knighty one. This is, I think you can probably get a 9.8 graded of this for around $200. Again, it's off its peak. So there's a bit in this for flippers, not a huge amount. And collectors, again, I'd go and buy this raw. You'd probably pick a raw copy of this up for £20 to £30 in decent condition. Right, so volume 2, excuse me. Right, this series was called Mark Spector Moon Knight, and this dates from 1989. This is the longest running of the Moon Knight series. This ran from issue 1 to issue 60. This is not an expensive one to buy. Probably a 9.8 will cost you around about $150. Again, it's a bit off its peak. But there's nothing really special about this other than that it's number 1 of the second volume. There are some other ones in the Mark Spector Moon Knight series which are much more collectible. So I don't think there's enough in this to interest a flipper. And, you know, if you want this for your collection, go and buy a raw one. They're not expensive. Right, there were then 2 little mini series, only 4 in each one, but they do count as Moon Knight series. So the first one of these mini series is here. I don't know why these count as series. You know, they were done as limited runs. There's 4 of these. This is volume 3. And there's another one which is volume 4. Neither of these have got any particular large value, so 9.8, so $60 to $80 raw, cheap. So not of a huge amount of interest unless you are a Moon Knight completionist, in which case go and buy a nice cheap raw version of these mini-series. Okay, so we're now in 2006 and this is series 5. Really nice cover here. I think the artist is David Finch, and there are some nice variants of this cover as well. But this is not an expensive comic to buy. I think a 9.8 will cost you about $100. Yes, it's a bit off its peak. Some of the variants are quite nice, but I got a 9.8 yellow label signed by Doug Munch for less than $100. So you can get these cheap. So don't pay any more than $60 to $80 for a 9.8. And, you know, if you want one of these and you're a collector, just go and buy it raw. You can buy a nice high grade raw for not very much. Right. And now there was then a Brian Michael Bendis series, which was volume 6 of Moon Knight. And while I was putting the information together for this video, I realized I hadn't got it. So I have just ordered the number 1 of that series, high grade raw, and it cost me £10, so $14. So it's not an expensive one. And I think it ran for something, I don't know, 16, 17 issues. Right, so that takes us up to volume 7. And this is one of my favourite covers, and indeed this is the second most expensive Moon Knight number 1. Great cover here. Warren Ellis is the writer. It's got a low census count. I presume this was a low print run. And it is also a key issue because one of Moon Knight's alternate personalities is called Mr. Knight, and Mr. Knight makes his first appearance in this comic, and I suspect we will get the Mr. Knight personality in the TV series. So this one is a great one, and again it's off its peak. So currently this will cost you $330 to $350 in a 9.8. Again, 20% off its peak. So flippers, yeah, there's something in this for you. I think this is a pretty good one to flip. Buy it now, sell it after the trailer, or sell it when the TV series first hits. Collectors, yeah, it's not a bad time to buy, but my advice always is buy the raw, don't buy the graded. Find a nice, clean raw copy, clean and press it. Get it graded yourself. You'll save yourself quite a lot of money. Right, so the other alternative is to wait until after the TV series, because there's always a dip after the TV series. So you could wait for that dip. However, if they do announce a second series, then the prices hold more firmly after the first series. So we'll see. Right, so we are now on, believe it or not, Moon Knight, Volume 8. This is from 2018, and another really nice cover and a great writer on this, Jeff Lemire. I really like some of the artwork on this. Underrated series in my view. And, you know, this is not an expensive comic. I bought this a couple of weeks ago. I think it cost me £15, something like that. High grade raw. I think 9.8 will only cost you $80. So I think this one is undervalued. So if you're a collector, this might be a good time to get hold of this before the TV series comes out. Flippers, not sure. Don't think there's a huge amount in it for you. Okay, that brings us right up to date to last year, June last year, when we got the 9th Moon Knight series. Here is number 1. I think this is the main cover. Again, this isn't this is only 6 months old. Don't go crazy. You know, if you can pick up a 9.8 for $40 to $60, fine. But otherwise, I'd pick up a raw copy. Not a lot in it for flippers. I did go a bit crazy on this one in terms of alternate covers. And these are worth about the same. I just like the covers. I like Moon Knight, and he looks great in these variant covers. You know, maybe one of these variant covers will take off. Who knows? So, and I like this black and white one. I think that might be my favourite, actually. And finally, no, not finally, we've got a couple more variants. I did go a bit crazy on the Moon Knight 1 variants, being a bit of a Moon Knight collector. There we go. So to summarise, is this a good time to buy Moon Knight number 1? Yeah, we are in a bit of a dip. I would say there are 2 you might consider buying, and that is number 1 from the first volume, and the Warren Ellis one. So maybe that one, and possibly the Warren Ellis one, that one. Okay, comic book fans, hope this has been useful, and I hope I've guided you through those 9 series and volumes of Moon Knight. Enough said.